My name is Lena Carter, and I learned very early that love could feel like both a home and a battlefield. I grew up in a quiet apartment on the 18th floor of a glass tower in Chicago, where everything looked perfect from the outside. My parents were the kind of people others admired. My father, a corporate lawyer, always dressed in sharp suits, and my mother, a graceful woman who hosted elegant dinners and smiled like nothing in the world could ever go wrong. Inside our home, everything had rules: what to say, what to wear, who to be, and most importantly, who to love. I met Avery Collins on a rainy afternoon in early October. I had been late to my architecture class, rushing in with damp hair and a coffee I didn't have time to drink. The room was full, except for one empty seat beside a girl sketching quietly, her pencil moving with calm precision. "Is this taken?" I asked. She looked up, her green eyes catching mine for just a second too long. "No," she said softly. That was the beginning. Avery wasn't like anyone I had ever met. She didn't try to impress people. She didn't speak loudly or demand attention. But when she talked, it felt like the world paused to listen. We started as classmates, then friends. Late-night study sessions turned into long conversations about dreams, fears, and the strange pressure of becoming someone in a city that never slowed down. One night, we sat on the rooftop of our university building, watching the skyline glow. "Do you ever feel like you're living someone else's life?" she asked. "All the time," I admitted. She nodded. "Me too." That was the first moment I realized how deeply I understood her. And how deeply I wanted to. The shift from friendship to something more didn't happen all at once. It was in the small things. The way her hand brushed mine, and neither of us pulled away. The way she remembered how I like my coffee, too much sugar. The way silence between us felt safe, not awkward. And then one night, everything changed. We were in her apartment, working on a project that neither of us was really focused on anymore. "You're staring," she said, smiling slightly. "So are you." There was a pause. A long, fragile pause. "I don't think I'm supposed to feel this way," I whispered. Avery's expression softened, but there was fear behind it. "Me neither." But neither of us moved away. Instead, she reached for my hand, and just like that, the world I had always known tilted. Loving Avery felt like finally breathing after years of holding my breath. But it also felt like stepping into a storm I wasn't prepared for, because I knew my parents, and I knew they would never accept us. We kept our relationship a secret at first. In public, we were just friends. In private, we were everything. We'd walk through crowded streets, our shoulders brushing but never holding hands. We'd sit across from each other in cafes, exchanging looks that said more than words ever could. At night, in the quiet safety of her apartment, we didn't have to pretend. "This is real, right?" I asked her once, lying beside her. She turned to me, her fingers tracing the line of my jaw. "It's the most real thing I've ever felt." I wanted to believe that was enough. But reality has a way of breaking through even the strongest illusions. The truth came out on a Sunday evening. My mother had asked me to come home for dinner. The table was set beautifully, candles flickering, everything exactly the way she liked it. "Lena," she said, pouring wine, "there's someone we'd like you to meet soon." I knew what that meant. A man. A future already planned without me. "I'm not interested," I said carefully. My father looked up. "You haven't even met him." "I don't need to." Silence fell over the table. My mother's smile tightened. "Is there someone else?" My heart started racing. This was the moment. The line I couldn't uncross. Yes, I said. My father leaned back. Good. Then bring him to dinner. I swallowed. It's not him. The room changed. The warmth disappeared. What do you mean? My mother asked slowly. I felt like I couldn't breathe, but I forced the words out. I'm in love with a woman. The silence that followed was heavier than anything I had ever felt. My mother's glass trembled slightly in her hand. My father's face hardened in a way I had never seen before. That's not funny, he said. I'm not joking. This is a phase, my mother whispered, more to herself than to me. It's not. My father stood up, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. You will end this immediately. No. The word came out stronger than I expected. For a moment, I felt powerful, free. And then everything broke. You are not throwing your life away for something like this, he said sharply. Something like this? My voice shook. You mean love? This isn't love. You don't get to decide that. My mother stood up, tears in her eyes. Lena, please think about your future, about your family. I am thinking about my life, I said. For the first time, I actually am. And what about us? She asked. That question cut deeper than anything else, because I didn't have an answer. That night, I left home. Not dramatically, not with shouting or slammed doors. Just quietly. I packed a bag, walked out, and didn't look back. But it didn't feel like freedom. It felt like loss. Avery opened the door before I even knocked. She took one look at my face and pulled me into her arms. They know? I said, my voice breaking. She held me tighter. I'm so sorry. I buried my face in her shoulder. I chose you. She didn't say anything right away. When she finally did, her voice was soft but steady. I never wanted you to lose your family because of me. You're not the reason, I said. Their love just had conditions. Yours doesn't. She pulled back, looking at me like I was something fragile and unbreakable at the same time. Then we'll figure it out, she said. Together. The weeks that followed were the hardest of my life. My parents stopped calling. Messages went unanswered. It was like I had been erased from their world. And no matter how strong I tried to be, it hurt. More than I ever expected. Sometimes, late at night, I'd sit by the window in Avery's apartment, staring at the city lights. I missed them, I admitted once. Avery sat beside me. I know. I wish they could just understand. She rested her head on my shoulder. People don't always understand right away. Or ever. I said quietly. She didn't argue. Because we both knew that was a possibility. Months passed. Life slowly found a new rhythm. I transferred closer to Avery's place. We built routines, morning coffee, shared classes, quiet evenings that felt like home. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And it was ours. One afternoon, as I was leaving class, my phone buzzed. A message. From my mother. My hands shook as I opened it. Can we meet? Just 3 words. But they carried everything. We met at a small cafe halfway between my old home and my new life. She looked different. Softer. Tired. But still my mother. Hi, she said. Hi. We sat in silence for a moment. I've been thinking a lot, she began. So have I. She looked at me, her eyes filled with something I hadn't seen in a long time. Not judgment. Not disappointment. Something closer to understanding. I don't fully understand your life, she admitted, but I don't want to lose you. My throat tightened. I don't want to lose you either. She hesitated. Can I meet her? I felt my heart stop. Really? She nodded slowly. I'm trying. Tears filled my eyes. That's enough. It wasn't a perfect ending. My father still kept his distance. There were still difficult conversations, awkward silences, moments of doubt. But it was a beginning. A small, fragile bridge between two worlds. The first time my mother met Avery, I was terrified. But Avery, as always, was calm, kind, authentic. By the end of the evening, my mother didn't fully understand us, but she saw us. And sometimes, that's where acceptance begins. Love didn't fix everything. It didn't erase pain or magically heal broken relationships. But it gave me the strength to stand in my truth, to choose my life, to build something real, even when it was difficult. My name is Lena Carter, and this is the story of how I lost a part of my world and found a new one in the arms of the person I love.